Hello, welcome to the channel. We're going to check out another interesting video right here. Don't go anywhere, like, subscribe, and also share your thoughts in the comment section. Without further ado, let's dive into the main video.
So there's a sign that says DEI is racist, and I want you to elaborate on that because I'm a little confused.
Yeah. So essentially, DEI basically tells people that your skin color, your immutable characteristics about you, are more important than your character and your merit. Would you agree with that? What do you think is more important, you being your race or
I think me being a
what you've
black
done
woman is
with your life?
important to who I am.
Okay, but what's more important
Me being a black woman.
than your merit, the things you've done in your life?
I feel like they both correlate
Or
with each other. So
which
there's
one
not
which one
really
do you think is more important, your
Well,
race or the things you've done in your life, your
the
character?
things I've done in my life or my race? Both correlate to each other
No,
because
no,
the
but
things I have
one-
done in
one-
my life are because of my race, because
No.
I am a black woman.
That's not answering the question.
Is
Which
that
one?
not-
Well, it's not answering the question
Well,
based
is
on what you're
answering the
saying
question
DEI
of
is.
you becoming-
Right? So DEI is basically saying that your race and your characteristics about you that are immutable, that you can't change, are more important than your merit and your character. So I'm asking you which one you think is more important. Your character and your accomplishments and your merit, or your race.
And I'm saying that because I am a black woman, what I have endured ties into my accomplishments in life. So, I'm confused on your question.
No, it's a very simple question. It's just one or the other. Because that's what the colleges
Well,
or
it's
your
both.
jobs or these kind of things are looking at,
It's
right?
both.
It can't be both.
Well-
because that's not what DEI says. DEI basically says that regardless of your merit, affirmative action, you might have the same test scores. I mean, this is what happened in the Harvard case where Harvard got sued. Because even though Asians were scoring 300 points better than black people on the SATs, they weren't getting in, the black people were getting in. Why does that make any sense? If they have equal merit, or if they have
Well, because they
higher
don't.
merit, but because they're not black. Is that fair?
Yes, but that's why we have DE.
That is fair.
Yeah, that's why we have
Why
DE.
is that fair? Why is it fair that an Asian person who does better than a black person on a test doesn't get in just because they're Asian? How is that fair?
Doesn't get in because they're Asian.
Yes.
But Asian is included in DEI.
Oh, Asians are the most successful group. They're not included in DEI. That's why the whole thing happened with the lawsuit.
No, but they are.
The DEI happens with black, Hispanic, Indian, basically.
And Asian.
What I'm saying is the lawsuit happened where Asians were scoring higher.
The lawsuit happened. That's
yes,
not into the
and they got
entirety of
sued.
DEI, though.
That is what DEI represents.
DEI
represents
the-
affirmative action, which says that we are giving people like you a leg up over other people despite their merit or character because of the color of their skin,
Because
their
they didn't
gender,
wanna
or their
take us before.
sexuality. What do you mean they don't want to take you
They
before?
didn't want to take us before because of our skin color, right?
Who didn't want to take you before?
They didn't want to give jobs to black people or
Who d-
Hispanic people.
Who didn't want to give jobs to black people?
The white people.
Since when?
Since when?
Since when?
Since slavery.
Since slavery.
Since slavery. This is the problem.
So you're
that has
saying
been
that
building
something
up
that
since
happened
slavery.
150 years ago has made it so that you need to have a leg up now.
Yes.
So the same for the Irish?
The Black
Asian,
Lives Matter
Asians,
movement
Chinese
happened
people
5
went through
years
some
ago,
of the
5,
worst.
6 years ago.
There was the Chinese Exclusion Act here in California that happened in this country. And now Chinese people are doing better than white people in this country. They had the exact same things that happened essentially with the discrimination and things going on as black people in this country, and yet they are surpassing black people, white people even, in so many different areas.
And that's
And why are
great
they
for
doing
them.
that?
But what about the people who are still being oppressed?
Who are those people?
The black people.
So what can you do that I can't do?
What can you're saying? What can I do
Yes.
that you can't?
You're
do?
black, I'm white. What can you do that I can't do?
You
or
have
what
a
can
be-
I do that you can't do?
Well, as a white man, you have a better chance of getting a job than I do.
That is not true. That is literally the
Why is
entire
that not
point of
true?
DEI. DEI, I just proved it to you with the whole thing with Harvard. This happens all across the country with
You
affirmative
proved it to
action.
me at Harvard with Asian
Yes, but
people.
this happened. That's why they have a DEI department to make this happen.
Yes.
Because it's not based
So
on
how is
merit.
it
It is based
racist?
on your race. Because it's based on race and not on merit.
It's
That
racist
is
because
racist.
it's giving people a chance to get a job.
Lower performing people.
Lower performing
if I-
people. So
if-
you think that
so if you
people
owned
of
a
color are
business-
lower performing people?
Well, if they are lower performing, yes, they are. If you owned a
So
business,
lower performing people are
let me
people
ask you:
of
if
color.
you
Let me
if
just
you
get
had a
that straight.
business, if you had a business, would you want someone there whose skin color is like yours, or someone who's going to do a good job?
Someone who's going to do a job that I want them to do, regardless
Right.
of the race or skin.
There you go. Exactly. That's the whole point of DEI. DEI tells them it doesn't matter about what you do if you're going to be good at your job. It tells you because you're black, you come and get the job over someone else just because you're black,
Right. But
which is racist.
okay. Hold on. Let me backtrack.
Okay. Backtrack.
Okay. So we're saying DEI is racist. Can you go back to the Harvard point?
Sure. Whatever. Sure. We kind of already covered it.
Yeah. I just want to
this
read.
is just me explaining it to
Yeah.
you. Right.
Can you explain what happened at the Harvard situation?
Right. So
Yeah.
Harvard got sued for the DI and all this stuff, right? Asians were scoring up to 300 points higher on their SATs than people of other races, and yet the Asians were rejected while the people of other races were put forward.
And so
You see that?
with DEI,
Right. That is DEI in action.
okay. And so with DEI, right? Let's say I'm put up against like someone who, let's say I'm put up against like a normal, like white person, like, right? Like I'm put up
Okay.
against you, like for a job.
Okay.
Okay. And do you have a degree like in anything? Like is your
I
do
do.
you have a specific
Yes.
what's your degree in?
Clinical psychology.
Clinical psychology?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we're applying for the same job. Okay. Who do you think they're more likely to choose
The person
Based
who's a
off
better candidate.
based on who's a better candidate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what they need for the job.
All right. And then are they going to choose? Okay. Well, because this can kind of interchange.
That's
based
how it
off of
should
the
be. I
job.
mean, it's very simple. If you own a business or you have a school or whatever it is, you should want the best person for the job.
Right.
Not because they're black, not because they're a woman, not because they're gay or trans. A real American doesn't care about
But
any of
then
that.
they
They
wanna
care
give
about the
people the
fact that they'll do a
chance.
good job.
They want to give people the chance who wouldn't typically get a chance to have. To have a job opportunity.
Okay, they want to
Because-
give people the chance.
Right.
But
And
by
that
doing
includes, like,
so,
people with
you are
disabilities.
taking away someone else's chance. So you're saying you want to give someone else a chance, but by doing that, you are taking away someone's chance who actually worked harder than that person or is better than that person at these certain things that they're looking for. So you're two
But wouldn't
wrongs
that
don't
also
make
be
a
a
right.
problem of the job market?
What do you mean?
The declining rate in jobs.
Well, that goes back to illegal immigration and all these different kind of things. But there are jobs available in this country to be done. I would say that's somewhat irrelevant for the point that we're trying to make here. Back on track.
Well, no, it kind of
But-
does because if there's enough jobs to go around, we wouldn't need DEI in the first place. But because there isn't enough jobs to go around, people.
Yeah, DEI has nothing to do with the amount of jobs that are available.
Well, no, but it does have something to do with the amount of people who are getting jobs.
It has to do with essentially racist practices like affirmative action, the DEI, not basing things on merit and basing them on immutable characteristics so they can make people feel better about themselves.
Okay. And so, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Okay. Because of the way that we've built the job systems and things like that.
Let's go to this. You're talking about black people, and they're going to get this chance that they haven't got before, and they need that chance, right? Well, why are black people right now struggling in this country? What would you say is the number one thing that's making them struggle in this country?
Well, because of the red line districts, they've separated black people into lower
Okay.
quality neighborhoods.
So
And
you think redlining is stopping
I do.
black people from getting a job?
I do, because you're putting them into these poverty neighborhoods, and then you're not giving them much to go and grow off of.
Okay.
And so they're not able to get a better education.
So then how do Asian people get out of poverty neighborhoods?
well,
How do
you're
white
not-
people get out of poverty neighborhoods?
Well, Asian people
They
aren't
do
put
it.
in the same group as the red line district.
Right, but
There
they're
are
still in
different
all sorts of
communities.
poverty, and they get out of these places of poverty. How do they do it?
But you're saying statistically, right? Black people have a harder time getting out of these poverty neighborhoods because the system is
Yeah,
built
because
to put
there's a
them down.
black culture problem. There's
Yeah.
a problem in the black
In the
culture.
black culture.
Yes.
What's the problem with the black culture?
Black fatherlessness
Black fathers
and crime and
crime.
and
gang
these
banging?
kind of things. Back in the 1960s, blacks were on track to surpass white people in economic growth. They were literally about to surpass
You know why
us.
people tore down black towns?
Why white? Say that again?
White people tore down black towns that were prospering so that we wouldn't prosper.
Oh, the affirmative action and all the civil rights and all those kind of things is what changed, and the black culture changed.
They wouldn't give these people those jobs. They wouldn't give them the opportunities, and so they were forced to go out and do drugs or sell drugs to make a living for their
Forced
families.
to go out and sell drugs? Who's
What
forcing
other
you to go and
choice
sell
did they
drugs? Did you
have?
sell drugs? You're black. Do you sell drugs?
Are you assuming that I sell drugs because I'm black?
No, I'm asking you. You're saying this. You're saying that black people are forced to sell
I'm
drugs.
saying that some black people were forced to sell drugs back in the day because they were forced in the in the red line
Okay,
districts.
but not now. Are black people? Are you forced to sell drugs?
Am I forced to sell drugs?
No one is
but
forced to sell drugs. They can
Forced
go
to
and
sell-
change their lives, and if they want to make something of their life, that needs to change in the black culture. That is where it comes from. I will give you that there are things that the government has done to African Americans in this country that haven't been the best. I'm with you on that. Okay, it's not the greatest, but people can pull themselves out of despondency, and there's a black culture problem that our media proliferates and puts out there about baby mamas, all this kind of stuff that makes the culture worse. And if
And
they
I
were to
agree.
change that,
I agree
It
with
would be
that.
better off. The black community would be better off.
But it's hard to change something when people have an opinion on you that is enforced by the government.
What
Because
opinion
they're
is
not
that?
really doing anything to help out these communities
Wait,
by taking away
what opinion is that? What are you talking about?
that black because I'm or because hold on. So let me find a way to word this.
Because you're black what?
Because I'm black, or because okay, sorry. Can you ask the question again? Sorry.
Well, you made the claim. You said that people think something about you because it's demanded by the government. What do we think about you?
Well, people think lower of black people just because of the
You guys think lower of black people? Oh, all white people here?
well. Do
No,
you?
of course not. Listen, you having that mindset of thinking that white people are out to get you and we think
Well, I
lower
don't
of
think
you?
that you're all out to get me.
Well, of course, not all of them, but you have this mindset that there's a systemic problem of racism that's mandated by the government and we're all out to get you, and there's this racist boogeyman out there. You think that there's a systemic problem of racism
I do.
that keeps you down and stops you. When
I do.
reality, look at you, you're at this college, able to come to me and have this conversation with me right now.
Do you know how much I'm paying to be here?
Of course, you can't, well, you're supposed to get it for free?
No, but do you think education should be lowered
Well, of course. But that has nothing
so
to do
that
with
way
racism.
everyone can get an education?
Wait, what does this have to do with racism?
Well,
There are
I
white
think.
people who go to school here too, and Asian people.
Oh, everyone.
And there's
goes
way
to-
more scholarships and things for people who are black than there is for a straight white male.
Yeah, but straight white males are more likely to be able to afford college,
Okay? So
which is why there are more
their
scholarships.
family
for black
made
people.
better choices. That's
So
why they're
you're
more likely
saying
to
that
be
black
able
people
to.
didn't make better choices?
Yes, that's exactly what I just said. The black community has a culture problem that is making them make worse choices. And that we need to fix the black culture around these things, and the world would be better off. American black people would be better off.
This is another eye opener for everyone and for those that haven't seen something like this, especially me. Like, this is beautiful to watch, and I actually love the fact that it exposes a lot and also enlighten us and educated us in so many ways. This is an upcoming development that a whole lot of people will love to see and also love to know about. Thank you so much for watching. I know you have something to say relating to this one in the comment section. Drop those comments, and don't forget to please like, subscribe, and also share this video to your friends and your loved ones. Now, all the right to this one, all right and privileges belongs to the rightful content creator of this big, great piece of art. We don't intend to infringe on the copyrighted materials. If you want to support the channel, you can use the super chat, super thanks, or you join our membership where you get exclusive perks from us on the channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. The way to stay put, stay safe, and stay subscribed. From me to you. It's bye for now.